The goal of our Process Safety Management Program, otherwise known as PSM, is to prevent the consequences of catastrophic incidents. Management systems must be established to minimize the risks associated with handling toxic, reactive, flammable, or explosive chemicals. A PSM program is required if a process contains more than the threshold quantity of over 140 materials on OSHA's list of highly hazardous chemicals, and if flammable liquids or gases except fuels are used in quantities of 10,000 pounds or more in a process. Storage tanks containing highly hazardous chemicals or flammable chemicals are considered part of the process. For example, if a batch charge is 2,000 pounds of styrene and the storage tank contains 40,000 pounds of styrene, the total in the process exceeds the 10,000 pound threshold. For Carpentersville, all manufacturing processes are currently covered under the PSM regulation. There are 14 elements of our PSM program, including employee participation, process safety information, process hazard analysis, operating procedures, training, contractors, pre-startup safety review, mechanical integrity, hot work permit, management of change, incident investigation, emergency planning and response, compliance audits, and trade secrets. Information on the hazards of the chemicals being used or produced are in the form of SDSs, storage and handling information, toxicity testing, process technology including chemistry, flow diagrams, and safe operating limits, and process equipment capabilities including design criteria, safety relief systems, and P&IDs are all provided as part of the process safety information. Process hazard analysis, or PHA, is used to identify potential hazards and take proactive measures to prevent incidents. It studies human error, equipment failures, control failures, and external events. PHAs must be rectified at least every 5 years or when major changes are made. Safety operating procedures, or SOPs, should cover startup, normal operations, emergency operations, shutdown and startup, operating limits, temperature and pressure, effects of exceeding limits, EHS considerations, PPE, hazards of chemicals, and safety systems, controls, interlocks, and how to respond. Employee training included operating procedures, safety and health hazards, emergency operations, safe work practices, and verification of skills is required. As part of our PSM program, contractors are informed about the hazards they may encounter at our site. The contract employer shall assure that each contract employee is trained in the work practices necessary to safely perform his or her job. Pre-startup safety reviews are required for new operations and for significant modifications to existing facilities and processes. Does the construction meet design specifications, EHS considerations, and hazard analysis concerns, training completed, and required documentation? Machinery must be designated, installed, serviced, and operated properly. Our mechanical integrity program in relation to the PSM standard includes routine checks, inspection, testing and calibration, written procedures for routine maintenance and preventative maintenance, training for mechanics and electricians, and equipment records. Verification that the area is properly prepared to prevent fires and explosions due to welding, cutting, grinding, burning, using electric tools, or other hot work designates who is responsible for ensuring the safety of the job, and limiting the job's duration and scope are all the responsibility of the hot work permit. Management of change is needed to modify an existing process, including equipment, chemicals, and operating limits. It ensures the modifications are given the appropriate review and forethought to prevent incidents, and it ensures that changes are communicated to those operating the process or maintaining the equipment. Example, drawing updates. All incidents or injuries must be reported to your site contact.
Created using Powtoon.